Am I the asshole for ruining my family's Christmas? I, female, my husband, and our kids, 14, 3, and 1 year old, flew to my parents to spend Christmas with them for the first time. A little bit of background: I moved out of home at 17 due to my father being physically and verbally abusive towards me. His excuse was I was a difficult child. He constantly belittled me and made me feel like I was not part of the family. He would stop me from having friends, check the bill at the end of the month to see who I was calling. He once called my best friend's dad when I was about 15, 16 years old, telling him to warn his daughter to stay away from me as she was a bad influence on me. Mind you, he introduced me to my best friend and her family. I resorted to bunking school just to meet up with friends, as that's the only way I could socialize. When he would find out that I was with my friends, female friends, in the middle of the day, he would bitterly call me and yell at me to come back home instantly and call me a prostitute. His behavior got out of hand. I could not wait till I turned 18 to leave. I ran away from home and was groomed by a much older man. I was 17 and he was 31. I fell pregnant, and that worsened whatever relationship I had left with my dad. I single-handedly raised my child. I worked as a caregiver and eventually enrolled in a nursing school. When my father found out that I was going into nursing school, he asked me why I was wasting my time. I was just going to drop out eventually. He never supported my decision to go to nursing school and got so angry at me when I once asked for help to explain a question for an assignment that I was struggling with, and he has been a registered nurse for over 30 years. That's nuts that this dude is a nurse. Wow. I never asked him for financial help. I graduated from nursing school while I worked as a caregiver to pay for my fees and installments. During my studies, I met an amazing man and we got married a month before I completed my nursing, and we had 2 other amazing children. Congratulations. My relationship with my father has never been great. Despite me doing well for myself and having an amazing, supportive husband, he still makes negative comments each time we have good news to share with him. His first response would always be negative, followed by pretentious happiness. If he's not directly involved in decision making or contributing towards anything, he hates that. Over the years, I've been putting up with his unhinged mood swings and degrading comments for the sake of my mother. She constantly makes excuses for him, blames the devil. She expects my siblings and I to overlook everything he does because he is our father. My father is extremely negative, judgmental, and sarcastic. He does not respect boundaries and gets angry when things don't go his way. He thrives on seeing people sad and needy so he can save them. He is intimidating and does not respect anyone. My brother, who is his only son, cut him off 3 years ago for a huge mistake my father made that cost my brother a loss of over $20,000. That's a lot of damn money. My father did not apologize, but shifted the blame onto my brother, yet my father was the one who carelessly handed over $20,000 in cash to a dodgy contractor to complete a landscaping job for my brother. The contractor absconded with my brother's money after doing a tiny amount of the job. Since that incident, my brother and father absolutely hate each other, and my father has never met his 1 year old granddaughter and his recent 1 month old grandson. Boy, oh boy. Money gets in the way of so much, but also dude's behavior is completely unhinged. My father has always treated my mom like trash. Their marriage became worse when she enrolled in a nursing school. So, everybody's nurses. He became aggressive and distant and would discourage my mother from studying nursing, saying she would just fail and embarrass him, and that if he wanted to marry a nurse, he would have married one. He didn't want her to be on the same level as him. My father has been verbally and financially abusing my mom for years. He cheated on her for a long period of time with a woman my mother once considered a friend. This friend attended my mother's 50th birthday with her mother and her daughters. My mother introduced my dad to this friend because she was a struggling single mother of 2 and needed help finding a job in the nursing field after fleeing from her abusive husband. This is just chaos. This friend suddenly became distant towards my mother. My mother thought nothing of it. Last year, my mom came across text messages and photos of my father with this friend of hers. They were in a full-blown relationship. He was playing house with my mom's friend. My father was not apologetic at all. This dude just sounds like a straight-up piece of trash. My mother stayed with my father for reasons known to herself. She says she just ignores what he does. She has no energy to fight with him and won't leave him. God bless you if you want to keep yourself in that situation. This year, my mom invited us to spend Christmas at her place. We were so excited. Don't know why. Began planning our trip and booked our tickets. I couldn't wait to show my husband and my kids my childhood home. First day was fine. My dad slowly began to show his controlling ways. Immediately when he woke up, he would begin slamming things around the house, excitedly calling the children's names at the crack of dawn, waking all of us up. I didn't see this as an issue and put it down to him being excited about having his grandchildren over. But this continued daily, and he knew we were struggling to adjust to the time difference. He didn't want us to get involved in how he fed our children. I gotta stop right there because ain't no way in hell. I don't give a damn if you the grandparents. That's my kids. We gonna do this how I say we gonna do it, or I'm up out of here. End of the story. I couldn't have a conversation with my husband without him interrupting or adding a snark remark to anything I say. He wanted to control our movements and plan some of our days. He wanted to be the one to show my husband around my hometown. And when my husband would tell him that we've already made plans, his attitude towards me would change. He went to the extent of telling me my husband was busy when I asked my child to call him from downstairs to attend to the baby while my mom and I cooked dinner in the kitchen. My dad blocked my daughter's way on the stairs so she couldn't access my husband to pass on the message. I had to call my husband's phone to come upstairs and attend to the baby. My husband left 2 days before Christmas to fly back to work, and all hell broke loose. My dad's attitude took a complete turn for the worse. He would frown his face at me each time I spoke to my children. The children did not want to be around him, not even my 14-year-old, and that ticked him off so bad. I was making breakfast for my 3-year-old when my dad found me in the kitchen and wanted to start also preparing breakfast for my 3-year-old. He didn't speak to me, but questioned my 3-year-old if he had brushed his teeth and eaten. I then told him I had already made breakfast for him and I was about to serve him. He asked me why I didn't tell him before, and I told him he didn't ask me. Mind you, he hadn't started making my child's breakfast cereal yet. I had already made it. There's a specific way that we make my 3-year-old's breakfast. Had he gone into the kitchen first to make the breakfast, I wouldn't care. No big deal. Which mom wouldn't appreciate the extra help? Was I supposed to knock on his bedroom door, ask him to come out and make breakfast for my child? Like, what the hell? He began to talk under his breath, saying, God help me, then slammed the cutlery cabinet that I was standing next to. At this point in the story, I'm surprised that OP just stayed for all of this long, especially with like the history of how he was with her growing up, but let's continue. I was shocked. I asked him why he slammed the cabinet and tried to calm him down. He opened his eyes wide and began to aggressively point in my face and with a deep voice saying to me, don't. I was so scared and mentally blacked out and slammed the sugar bowl on the kitchen surface and got out of the kitchen. Thank God, because this dude sounds like a straight up psychopath. My mother ran into the house asking what's going on. He quickly pretended to be calm and said to my mom that this girl has demons. I tried to explain what happened and he kept trying to interrupt me, saying he has the right to express himself. His version of what happened was totally different from what happened. He began to insult me in the presence of my children and I lost my shit. My 14-year-old took my 3-year-old outside. Nice, good thinking. My 1-year-old child was in his cot watching what was happening. We exchanged slurs, and each time I'd respond to his slurs, he would try to physically attack me. I asked him why he had children when he hates us. He only loves people who are beneath him and go to him for help. I told him I would not be bullied or hide myself away in the bedroom like my mom does when he's in this manic state while we're supposed to be on holidays. He asked me why I even bothered coming over for the holidays, and I told him I came because I thought he had changed. I don't know why you thought that, but he swore at me more and began to call me an unhappy failure. The amount of projection he was doing was scary and at the same time hilarious. My mom was in the middle trying to separate us. He then insulted my husband, who was not present, saying that my husband was being controlled by me. I insulted his sisters in response to him insulting my husband. He asked me why I was bringing up his sisters. Am I the one sleeping with him? So I asked him why he was bringing up my husband. Was he the one sleeping with my husband? He commits emotional incest with his sisters. It's pretty gross. That is really fucking gross. In the process of us bitterly exchanging slurs, he tried to jump over my mom and spat at me, some of his saliva landing on her. What are we fucking doing, man? Like, this is like such a crazy, mind-boggling story to me. It's like, why were you there? What, like, I mean, I don't want to sound like a victim blamer. This dude is a straight up fucking psychopath. Nowhere in this story did I get to a point where I'm like, oh, he probably changed. Like, I'm still not even done with the story, but OP is not the asshole. Like, clearly, like, my mom asked him why he was spitting at me, and I told her not to bother asking him because he was a street dog. I threatened to call the police and called him a maniac. That scared him off, and he left saying he would return home when I leave. 5 minutes later, he returned. He insulted me and went below the belt, and I insulted him back. Then he tried to hit me with his 43-ounce metal water bottle. That's insane. I blocked him by pushing the Christmas tree towards him, and he walked out saying I should get the fuck out of his house. I told him I would gladly fuck out of his house. I did not fly 4 hours across the country to be constantly bullied and intimidated by him in the presence of my husband and children when I have a house of my own. Thank God. I called my husband and he agreed that we needed to get out of there. I gathered my children, packed our bags, called the airline to change our flight departure, and of course we had to pay extra for flight changes, and booked a hotel the night before our flight. We spent Christmas Eve in a hotel and Christmas Day in an overcrowded airport waiting for our night flight home as we had to check out of our hotel at midday. I later found out why my 14-year-old's attitude changed towards my father after we left his home. She said he was constantly trying to turn her against me by saying staying with him in his house would be better than staying with that swear word, mother of yours. She would say what the word was. My daughter then told me that when dad left, grandpa was asking me why I stopped calling him dad. Context, my daughter used to call my dad when she was a toddler because that's what my siblings and I called him. But ever since my husband came into her life, she's been calling him dad, and that seemed to piss him off, and we didn't know. My father is the type to bully and disrespect family members and also cashiers and waitresses. He can do no wrong in his eyes. He's always Mr. Right, he's unhinged, and it's extremely embarrassing. My husband believes that my father has had built-up resentment towards me since our trip. He notices his mood changes and was feeling uneasy about being there. Mom mostly blamed me for being hot-tempered and said I should have just ignored him and walked away when my dad first aggressively reacted towards me. She said I know the way he is and I have allowed the devil to ruin our Christmas. I told her I'm a human being and I reacted in a fight or flight mode. She said they have wasted so much money on gifts for the kids that they did not get to open because I took the kids away. She is straight up victim blaming. I told her we also have wasted thousands of dollars to fly over to them only to be treated like absolute filth by an emotionally immature maniac. My dad texted my husband trying to guilt trip him, saying that I took the kids away from them without them taking their gifts and that he was going to donate the gifts to charity. I literally had to pack 4 huge suitcases plus our carry-on luggage in a hurry and get 3 kids ready to get out of that situation. That had to be hell. I couldn't care any less about any of the damn presents. No one can buy my respect. I have since cut off my so-called father. I will not have anything to do with him ever again. Thank God. I will not have anything to do with... I texted him and told him he would not have access to my children. He cannot claim to love my children, but hate me. It doesn't work that way. I will not be forgiving him anymore and putting up with his shit for my mother's sake. She chose to stay with an abusive, manipulative, misogynistic man. I don't have to put up with such behaviors. If she continues to push the blame on me, I plan on permanently cutting her off too. I've had enough of her emotionally manipulating me into constantly forging the maniac she married. I am sad and hurt that I played a part in ruining Christmas for my children and my mom. Had I known that things were going to end this way, I would have walked out of the kitchen the minute he walked in. I reacted impulsively. I do regret it for the sake of my children and my mother, but I don't regret standing up to him. Okay, I'm glad you took the blame because I was like, that was kind of wild to react that way in front of your kids, but like you said, you did have to stand up for yourself. Like, I don't know how easy or tough it would have been to just get out of that situation immediately so you didn't have to like go ham in front of your kids and they have to see that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. They're resilient. They'll bounce back. I will be going to therapy in the new year. God forbid I ever treat my children the way he has treated me, and I plan on cutting off every single family member that tries to force me into having a relationship with my father. I am done. So, am I the asshole for ruining my family's Christmas? I mean, come on. Anybody that says you are is fucking insane.